What up, just the Future JPN in here. Right now I want to talk about my these funny situations with these girls and stuff that I had over the years and stuff. And I guess basically the name of this is, if I can remember to check this, is I Got No Game. And a lot of guys think I do because I talk to these girls, in my Do You Love Black Men videos. But those are just questions. I can walk up to women and just talk to them, and that's no big deal. Like one day, I think I told the story already, but one day I was at the corner, me and my brother, and there was these two guys kind of standing behind these two Japanese girls, and one of them was just like super fine. I mean, she had some nice lips, and some nice thick lips. I mean, she was just like super duper fine Japanese girl. And she was dressed real nice. I'm sure the clothes she had on, if I'm correct, could have been like $2,000-$3,000 worth of clothes. And I forgot what I said in the other video, even if I mentioned it. But oh man, she was decked out, and her friend, was dressed up nice too. But she was just like a fucking 1,000, and her friend was like a 10. That was like a difference. Her friend was fine, but she just made her friend look like nothing. And I just turned and looked at her, and she was just like, wow. And I looked, and it was funny because we had got to the corner second, last. And so I turned and looked at those two white guys, and I was like, damn, what's their problem, And, why ain't they talking to her? This girl's just too fine to just be looking at least say hi, And so I just looked at him and just like, all right. And my brother, he's Mr. Playboy and stuff, He didn't say nothing either. I just said, hey, how you doing? She said, I'm fine. I said, wow, you're so beautiful. She was like, oh, thank you, speaking English and stuff. And I said, I'm sorry, but I got to ask you a question. She was like, what? And I said, can I hug you? And she was like, yeah. And, I just gave her a hug, and, man, she gave me this hug, that was real tight and stuff. And I was like, wow, And she held me for about a good 15 seconds, And then we let go of each other. However long, no, it was a long hug, it wasn't a little patty pat type thing. And I was like, I want to get your number, so we can hang out. She said, oh, I want to, but I got a boyfriend or something like that, And I was like, all right, fine. Hopefully I'll see you again. She said, yeah. And she walked across the street, and my brother, and my brother was like, oh, man, I can't believe she did that, man. Because every time some of these guys, they come out here, and they get in these Japanese guys mold where, well, not all the guys, but, where they scared to talk to girls, to touch girls and stuff like that, And out here, like when you go to the club and stuff, if a girl like you, like in the station, if you touch a girl, like, oh, molestation and all that stuff. But out here, when you go to a club, if a girl likes you, she'll stand in front of you and kind of like back up to you real close, but she won't touch you. And, that means, she likes you. So you can just put your hands around her, and start dancing with her, And plus, they just stand there, like moving back and forth like those creatures on those creatures or something that was on I Am Legend and stuff, and they're just moving. So you don't even really dance with them. You just stand there and hold them and grind or whatever, and stuff like that. And them girls, man, that's where, when I used to do that, that's when I found out them girls got some six packs. And man, they stomachs are hard. You step back, you looking like, what? And she ain't doing no exercise, but I guess evidently, you thinking like all of them can't be like that. But I'm telling you, maybe like 95% of the women that I grab like that, or talk to and grab, touch their stuff, they all got like six packs and stuff, man. And they're hard, it's like a rock, man. It's a trip. But anyway, I was in Santa Barbara, and I was a waiter and stuff, and I went to this one table. It was like 3 girls and 2 guys, and one of the girls, she kind of drunk, her eyes were like bloodshot red, face was all red and stuff, and she looked at me and smiled a couple of times, and so, I was like, okay, whatever, because, I wasn't thinking nothing. And then she's like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm fine, and we started talking a little bit, and she gave me her number, and I called her up, and we talked, and she called me and talked, and finally we ended up hooking up. And it was a trip, because I went to pick her up, and she told me about her parents, how rich they are, and their hospital they own, and they live upstairs, and all kinds of crazy stuff. And she had a boyfriend, and she working out, trying to get herself in shape, and she was fine too, you know. And she went. When I picked her up at a gym, took her home. She showered up and came back out and got in the car. And we driving around, and then she took me someplace where we can park, and there's like no one around and stuff. And she just straight up said, "Kiss me," and I was like, "Huh?" She's like, "Kiss me." I'm like, "For what?" She said, "You're gonna kiss me or not?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." So you know, I'm kissing her, but no feelings. You know what I'm saying? No feelings or nothing. You know. And then she grabbed my hand and started placing on different parts of her anatomy and stuff. And I was like, wow, you know. And it was a trip. And nothing didn't happen. You know, I wasn't trying to do anything, you know. I was just kind of like in shock, you know. And then what happened? Oh, and then she said, well, the next week on the Wednesday, let's hook up and go watch a movie. And I'm like, go watch a movie? Where we gonna watch a movie at? You know? And she was like, huh? And I was like, where we gonna watch a movie at? And she was like, you don't know? I said, I don't know. I can't go to my house, can't go to your house. She said, oh, we'll think of something, you know. And she got out of the car and stuff and left. And of course, later I thought about like, oh, hotel, you know. And I was like, man, my mind was like just totally way out somewhere, I don't know where it was. And she had and in Japan, you know, the girls, they don't meet their boyfriends during the week, just only on Sundays and stuff, because they both are always busy and stuff. So it was Sunday, and she was with her boyfriend. I called her like, yo, we gonna meet up on Sunday. And I was with another girl at that time anyway, so I don't know why I did that, you know, but I'll do stupid stuff like that, you know. So I'm driving the car with one girl and called another girl saying we're still gonna meet on Wednesday, and the girl I was with is like fluent in English, but she didn't really say anything, you know. And it was a trip, and she was like, okay, okay, let me call you back later. And she was with her boyfriend, you know. And in Japan, you know, people don't really speak English, but they understand a little bit, but they can read, you know, and they can read English real good. And some of them hear sometimes, I mean, simple words they'll understand. So so then my girl was with, you know, she's like, well, who is that? And I'm like, oh, it's just one of my friends, you know, trying to play it off and stuff, you know. And, you know, we didn't get into any arguments or anything like that. But the other girl, for some reason, I don't know how she got my home number, but I guess I must have gave it to her or something. And so she called my house, and my wife answered it and gave it to me, and she's like, who's that? And I'm like, oh, just one of my friends, you know. And she's like, all right, whatever, you know. We didn't get in a fight over it. And the girl was like, well, you know, my boyfriend told me to call you and tell you that we can't meet anymore, and da-da this and da-da that. And I was like, okay, fine, you know. And hung up. And I was just like kicking myself. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. But I do a lot of stupid stuff like that. Like, what happened? I'm trying to think of the silly things that I used to do. I can't think of. I know I got a whole bunch of those. The one I wouldn't say a whole bunch of those stories, but I got some stories. Okay, like one time I caught this. I think I talked about that too. I'm trying to find some. Oh, okay. So, maybe I talked about this. I'm not sure. But it was this club out in. Oh, I ain't even got time to do it. Oh, well, I guess I have to do it on another one. Another video. But yeah, you know, you guys like say I got game. Man, it's like I get out there and try to pull these girls, man. It's like it's hard, you know. Maybe it's just because of what I'm wearing, because I do dress like a bum, and my hair does need some work on it, you know, and stuff like that. Some girls don't care, but I don't know. Like I said, I ain't got no game, man. Everything that happens is just all coincidence, you know. It's just coincidence and stuff, you know. But sometimes I won't say I won't have none, because sometimes that player mode pops in, but I'll be like in a daze or something like that when that happens. Like right now, I'm like my unconscious. Well, I guess I don't know, but anyway, right now I'm just, you know, up for it. But like when I step back and like be in a little trance or days or something like that, it's, man, that is on.